Brainy Dose presents 7 Creepy Kids Who Remember Their Past Lives. The concept of reincarnation has existed for thousands of years. The idea that old souls are reborn into new bodies is part of the Hindu and Buddhist traditions. Some insist that it's real, and that stories like the following are proof of its existence, while others insist that it's all a bunch of nonsense. Whatever you believe, these stories certainly are creepy. So let's have a look at 7 children who remember their past lives. Number 1. Past life in Hollywood. Our first story is about a boy named Ryan from Oklahoma. He began talking about his past life in Hollywood at the age of 4. A book about Hollywood triggered further memories. He saw a picture from a 1932 movie called Night After Night. He said he was friends with a man in the movie who was an actor and spokesman for cigarette commercials. Ryan also identified his past self in the photo, a man named Marty Martin. He remembered correctly a scene that he had acted in, and details of Martin's life, such as his days of tap dancing on Broadway, his 3 younger sisters, and the color of his car. Ryan said that he liked being Ryan, but wanted to go back to his big house on the hill with a swimming pool. Every time Ryan saw the Hollywood Hills on television, he would exclaim that that's where he was from. Martin did indeed live in a huge Hollywood mansion with a pool and was well known for his love of socializing with the rich and powerful. Ryan also correctly identified more than 50 truths about Marty Martin's life, down to the fact that he was 61 years old when he died, and not 59 as stated on his death certificate. Number 2. The Fighter Pilot Child. This is an extremely fascinating and strange story because of its reliance on a child who clearly seems to know way more than he should. At a very young age, James Leninger started narrating his love for fighter planes. Now, this sounds normal at first, since many young boys like playing with planes. However, this was different. James could go into extreme specifics of how a fighter plane worked, in fact, into so much detail that it left his parents startled by his wealth of information. Eventually, James started having nightmares in which he would picture himself dying and being shot down by a Japanese plane with a red sun on it. Not only that, he was even able to recall the name of his plane, Corsair, and the boat from which it was launched, Natoma. Both of these names were verified, along with his own alleged name in his past life, James Huston. Number 3. Golf Legend. At the age of 2, Hunter was watching TV with his father when a clip appeared of 13-time major golf champion Bobby Jones. Hunter turned to his dad and told him that he had been Bobby Jones when he was big, and he had demanded to be called Bobby from that moment on. His father decided to test him, so he printed off several pictures of houses, one of which was Bobby's childhood home. Hunter called all the pictures a house, except Bobby's, which he called home. At the age of 3, Hunter started taking golf lessons, and he has been likened to Bobby Jones in his style of play. He also declared from a young age that his favorite golf course was Augusta, which is the national course, home of the Masters that Bobby Jones helped establish in the 1930s. Hunter, now a little older, has won 41 out of 50 junior golf tournaments and is seen as potentially the next Tiger Woods. Or is he really the reincarnation of Bobby Jones? Number 4. Screenwriter of the Past. A little boy named Lee had developed an obscene fascination with Hollywood and told his parents that he worked on movies. Quizzing him on this developing obsession, Lee's parents asked if he acted in movies, to which he replied, "No, I wrote them." His family listed off movies, asking him if he wrote any of them, and he reacted positively when Gone with the Wind was mentioned. The idea that Lee was recalling the past life of Sidney Coe Howard became to seem more real when his parents realized it explained some of his behavior, such as insisting his birthday was June 26th and not June 21st. Lee would speak about his home in Hollywood, and also revealed a strong interest in tractors. This made sense, since before the release of Gone with the Wind in 1939, Howard was at home on his Massachusetts farm when he went to take his tractor out of his garage to work on his property. Tragically, a hired hand left the tractor in gear and it rolled forward, pinning him to the foundation wall of the garage and crushing him to death. Indeed, from an early age, little Lee showed an aversion to anything being near his upper body, and although interested in tractors, he was terrified by them too. Number 5. Anne Frank and BARBO KARLEN. Perhaps one of the saddest stories we all remember from our childhood is Anne Frank's story. An innocent young girl writing in her diary while hiding from the Nazis in a concealed room behind a bookcase for 2 years before she was captured and transferred to a concentration camp where she died shortly after. 9 years later, a little girl named BARBO came into this world. As soon as she could speak, she started claiming that her parents were not her real parents and that she wasn't in her real home. During that period, she had frequent nightmares in which men were breaking through the attic door. While visiting Amsterdam with her parents, BARBO was able to find Anne Frank's house without any directions or help from anyone. To the amazement of her parents, BARBO knew the inside of the house and took her parents directly to Anne's hiding place. Number 6. The Village Boy. This is the story of Pramod Sharma, born in India in 1944. Since his childhood, he spoke of his wife and her cooking in Moradabad, a village about 145 kilometers away from his present home. Between the ages of 3 and 4, Pramod described a business venture called Mohan Brothers, where he had worked with family members selling cookies and water. He even built miniature shops and served his family mud cookies and water. He advised his parents against eating curd and would not touch it himself. He said that he had become very ill eating it in his old life. Pramod also hated being submerged in a bath and told his parents that he had died in a bathtub. Eventually, Pramod was taken to Moradabad and all the details of his story were corroborated. It turned out that there was a family that had run a soda and cookie shop called Mohan Brothers. They even learned of the fate of the man who owned the shop. He died in 1943 shortly after taking a bath and gorging on curd, which gave him gastrointestinal illness. Number 7. The Bear Boy. In our final story, we look at a boy named Cameron, who was born in Glasgow, Scotland, but claimed he actually belonged to the island of Barra, off the coast of Scotland. Around the age of 2, he started mentioning incidents and details of his past life, including details about his black and white dog, his parents, their names, and how they had died. He talked about a white house and a beach on which planes landed. He even drew a picture of his old house by the beach. Eventually, his family took him to the island, and they found the white house near the beach, exactly as he drew it. Remarkably, Cameron knew the house inside out, even showing them a secret entrance. The family found an old photograph of the black and white dog, along with a car that Cameron had remembered. Since his visit to Barra, Cameron talks less about his old life, but he has told pals not to worry about dying because you just come back. Do you think that these and other stories about past lives are true? Feel free to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and remember to click on the notification bell. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well. Thanks for watching.